are in the AWP Community of Practice Global Update session, and we're going to start right now. I'm Lloyd Rankin. You'll notice that COVID has done its thing to me because I'm a lot skinnier than the picture I posted. But I'm going to be talking about the North American chapter. We've got Rodolfo from Verum Partners, and he's going to update you on the South American chapter. We've got Maxim from Russia, and he'll be updating you on the Russian chapter. And we have Luigi and Stuart, and they'll be updating you on the European chapter. So welcome all. Here's the agenda for today. We're going to talk about what is the AWP Community of Practice, or communities now. We're going to have a brief portion on North America, then we're going to go to South America, then we're going to go to Russia, and then we're going to go to Europe. Then we're going to talk about the plans for global expansion, and then we'll open it up to Q&A for everybody on the call. So very excited about this. And let me start by just giving you a little background. So in 2008, workplace planning was made a best practice by the Construction Owners Association of Alberta. And CII got involved with COA, and they built out the workplace planning model to include more front-end activities, and they released the AWP the AWP model in 2013. 2 years later, it was made a global best practice in 2015. We had established a workplace planning group back in about 2010, but we relaunched it in 2020, in March of 2020, as the North American AWP Community of Practice. And at that time, there was about 900 members. We rebranded it, and it's grown significantly since then. I'll talk about that in a minute. We had South America reach out to us and say, we really like this AWP concept, and we would like to bring it to Brazil and to South America as a whole. And so that was great. Then we had Russia reach out to us, and they said, we really like this concept. We would like to expand it in Russia. And we talked with Europe, and Europe said, we really like this AWP concept, and we're interested in making that available to our members in Europe. So from March of this year till now, there's been an enormous amount of activity, tremendous development. So the question you might be asking yourself is, well, why would we want to expand globally? Why not just keep this as a North American initiative? And there's a couple of good reasons for going global. The first is, the more of us that are working on this, the more we can share knowledge, the more we can advance safety and productivity and all of those other AWP related benefits in the construction industry. But the other thing is, if you look at our South American chapter, most of the presentations they do aren't in English. They're in Portuguese, or they will be in Spanish. There may be some in English. The ones in Russia will not likely be in English. They will be in Russian. So if we want to support all of these regional differences, we need to set up regional chapters. This cannot be a North American initiative foisted on the rest of the world. This needs to be an initiative that was created in North America, but is then adapted and made to work in other parts of the world. And having regional chapters, we're able to have people who strongly believe in this and support this all over the world. The other thing that you'll notice is we started this in industrial construction, primarily in oil and gas, a little bit in chemicals. It has since gone global, and it's being expanded into power. It's being expanded into major commercial projects like airports and hospitals, to manufacturing facilities. So if we want to meet the needs of the world, we really need to expand this beyond just an industrial focus. The other thing that we found is the lean folks have some great stuff. BIM has some great stuff. There's a lot of really good work being done on agile, on manufacturing production systems, and we want to embrace those other approaches and work with them. But we also want to bring it back to CII, and CII are the ones, along with COA, that developed the advanced work packaging approach. We want to stay true to that. We don't want to just say, well, whatever you decide to do, that's good enough. We want to make sure that people are following the recommendations of RT 272, 319, all of the AWP recommendations, but that you're adapting it so that it works for your region, your industry, your approach to doing projects. So the core is AWP, but we're supplementing that with other approaches, other systems, and we're adapting it slightly within organizations to work with your own internal systems. So let's talk about, well, what's the vision of this? The AWP vision is we want to make construction safer, more effective, and more efficient. That's our vision. That's what we would like to see. And we're seeing that. We're seeing that people are getting hurt less frequently on jobs where AWP is used. We're seeing that the productivity numbers, the predictability numbers, the safety, and the quality are all increasing. So that's what we want to achieve. How are we trying to achieve that? Through our mission. We're trying to create these communities to encourage knowledge sharing, discussion, promote adoption of not only advanced work packaging, but also other construction productivity initiatives. So we see a lot of value in other approaches, and rather than saying, well, you got to use AWP and nothing else, we're saying, lean has a lot to contribute, especially when you start talking about, let's say, modularization, or when you talk about fabrication facilities. So we all have certain things that we do incredibly well. Let's learn, let's share. Let's not make this, you must do it this way. Let's work together to come up with the best solution. And what are our values? Well, we really believe in inclusion. We really believe in integrity, consistency, collaboration and networking, knowledge and resource sharing, and aligning with other associations and organizations. And when I say integrity, what I mean by that is we want to make sure if we're referencing something that comes from the lean community, that we acknowledge that and that we credit them. We want to make sure that we work together, but we work together in a very open and transparent way. And respecting intellectual property and respecting when companies have chosen not to share information, we will respect that and we will follow that. So those are our core values, and this is what we believe. We believe that advanced work packaging will improve construction safety and project performance. We also believe that AWP is a moving target. It's continuously evolving, and we need to keep up with those changes. We also believe that AWP is only part of the solution. Lean, BIM, Scrum, production management are also parts of the solution. And finally, that we believe that we're stronger if we work together. So this idea of there being different approaches out there, we are actively reaching out to those other groups and trying to work with them. CII is actively working with the other groups, and we think that's incredibly important. So how is this group governed? Well, we've got direct links to CII and COA. We have a board of directors that actually includes COA and CII. But what we've been doing with our advisory board is we've been piggybacking on the advisory board that the conference has. And that worked really well initially, but quite frankly, with the growth that's taking place, we need to have a separate advisory board just for the communities of practice. And we'll be working on establishing that immediately after conclusion of this conference. And we'll be looking for owners, builders, technology firms, vendors, SMEs to participate on that advisory board. So if any of you on the line are interested as an organization in getting involved, please reach out to us. Also, just to give you a breakdown of where we are right now, since we rebooted the community of practice, we've had a 70% increase in membership over the last 7 months. We're up to 1,550 or so members as of today. 45% of our membership is from Canada, 27% is global, or sorry, 28% is global, and 27% is the United States. To be honest, we've been really focused on growing the community of practice outside of North America. So if you look at the increase, it's pretty impressive at 70%. If you add in the South American chapter, we've actually grown from about 900 to around 3,000 in 7 months. That's, I think, a better indication of the growth. So what are we trying to do? We're trying to create a global network. We have a North American chapter. We think that by the end of next year, it'll be up to about 2,500 people. South American chapter, we believe it'll be up to around 2,500 people. A Russian chapter, which should be established this quarter, and we think it'll be up to about 2,000 people. Our European chapter, we believe, will be up and running by the first quarter of next year, and we think it'll be up to about 1,500. And other areas we think will account for about 1,500 by the end of next year. And how do you join? This is the LinkedIn group that we've set up. This will be in the slide deck that goes out to you. All you have to do is go to the LinkedIn site and join. There's no cost associated with it. And we put on programming about twice a month. I've got to give kudos to the South American chapter. They have done an amazing job, and we are going to be actually taking some of the things that they're doing and incorporating it into how the North American chapter works. And that's part of this. We're trying to set up multiple chapters, but then we're trying to get the chapters to communicate with each other so that we can constantly learn from each other. In addition, our programming is going to include free webinars that'll be bi-weekly. We did have them originally as weekly, but we want to start adding some additional activities, potentially having virtual events where we can have groups talk about specific topic areas. We want to work on premium programming, but we want to find out from the membership what will help to encourage the adoption of advanced work packaging and the exchange of ideas. And we'll be working on that immediately following the completion of this conference. So at this point, I'd like to hand it over to Rodolfo, and he can talk to us about the South American chapter.
Thank you, Lloyd. Thank you a lot. Good afternoon for everybody. For me, it's a big pleasure, a big honor to be here in this conference. And as Lloyd said, I think I use our time here to talk about our journey since you start the idea of the community practice in South America. As Lloyd said, we share the same values, the same idea, the same proposals, and he already speak and explain all of this, and I think that's a good idea to talk a little bit about our journey, how we work. Let me see. Let's go. Talk a little bit about me. I am one of the directors from Verum Partners and one of the co-founders with our other partners to the AWP Community of Practice South America. And what will you talk today? The beginning of the journey, the timeline, a little bit of the timeline, our organization, the promotion plan that we did until this point, the webinar starts. That is something like the example from North America chapter. You work with a lot of webinars to share information, knowledge with our group, and the status of the community of practice until now. Since June, we start this partnership with Group ASI, with the Lloyd Help, to develop the idea of the community of practice in South America. We are very proud to be the first one outside North America to start this idea, because we think there is a lot of space in Brazil and South America to grow with the knowledge of AWP. There is a lot of space. There are a lot of people in groups and companies interested in being more productive, more safe, and work better with their projects. And there are a lot of interested in know more about AWP. And we developed together a strategy plan and a promotion plan to gather members across the country. And since June, we started this job. What was our main challenges? And how you get this audience in Brazil, Chile, Peru, Argentina? I am speaking from Brazil. We are from Brazil. And we have a big challenge because a lot of people don't know about the AWP. Most of them know the CAI, and you start doing this job trying to bring this knowledge, bring the potential of the AWP to the companies, to the people that you join with us, and that's the way you try to achieve more people. And put together companies of the industry, use a lot of our networking, since you came from the engineering companies that work a lot of time with projects. And another big issue is to be attractive to the members and professionals. How you could use our LinkedIn page and our promotion plan to achieve people and be interested to get more people join with us. And here a little bit about our journey. We start, as I said, a partnership. We have some help about a market agency to help us with our job, with the LinkedIn page, with the promotion plan, with the organization of the webinars and all the job that you do with the LinkedIn. In July, we start to connect one by one. We did a lot of meetings with the companies, with people, associations, bring them, introduce them to the idea of the community of practice, and bring them to the board, invite them to the board to make part of the board, to help us to start and develop this plan. And at the beginning of August, we launched the community of practice and did our first webinar. That was a kickoff that Lloyd helped us to do this first webinar. It was for us, it was a very success. People enjoy a lot the idea. From this point, you start to do bi-weekly webinars and start a schedule of webinars using our boards to help us with the ideas, talking with people from the communities to see what's the best topics that they want as the first time. And until now, I think it's been very, very useful to that group. And we launched the meetings with the advisory board and the board of the directors We do one meeting by month with them and talk about all the job that you did during the month. And at the beginning of September, we keep with the webinars, consolidate the AWP Community of Practice with 1,000 members until with less than 3 months. It was for us very good point that we achieved. We start, I'll show a little bit after that, a contact with university in Brazil, and start to talking about our plans to 2021 challenges. And at this moment, we achieve 1,400 members, and until I think until last week, we achieved 1,400 members in the community of practice. And here is a little bit about our organization. We followed the ideas, as I said. Group ASI helped us a lot with the developed plan. You follow the idea of the North America chapter, divide in the board of directors, in advisory board, and the board of directors. There is members of Group ASI, Verum, members of CII, COA, owners from South America that they are very engaged and help and use the ideas of AWP. We have the biggest mining companies in the continent. The 2 biggest mining companies in the continent are part of our board of directors, and our advisory board, that is the environment of the companies that are working with us and help us with the ideas of sharing knowledge with the group and bring a lot of success case ideas to the group. And there is owners, constructors, engineering companies, software technology companies, developers, and some from academies too. And here is just a little bit about our promotion plan. We start a very good job working with the LinkedIn page, sharing information, sharing the idea of the start of community of practice, trying to engage in people and bring come with us, enjoying the network, enjoy the community of practice. You use all of our networking to help with that, and did a lot. Until now, we are doing a lot of good job with the promotion plan. I think it's something that you could never stop. And what you did until now? You did a kickoff with the community of practice. Our second webinar, it was AWP Fundamentals. After that, people asked us a lot with the owner's perspective. Valley, that I said, it's part of board of directors, helped us and did a very good webinar that people enjoyed a lot, seeing good examples of using of AWP in big capital projects here in Brazil. After that, we did a success case from Braskem. It was the first case that we know from using AWP in Brazil, in South America. And Carla, that is one of our board of directors too, helped us with this webinar. It was very good. We have scheduled for the next webinars BIM solutions, AWP from the constructor's perspective. One of the constructors will help with them. You want that people are looking a lot, as Lloyd said, there is a lot of good information related to that, is the relationship between AWP, BIM, lean construction, and other methodologies like Agile, using all the perspective to have better information, better good practice to help with the projects. And we start to our page in YouTube, where you put all the webinars that we did, and people can see how many times they want in the YouTube page from the Community of Practice. The next steps, it's the effort that you have with the university. You develop a partnership trying to bring the people from academics that are studying a lot of good practice and interested and work together with AWP practice to come to the communities and help us with the board too. And you're at this moment working with this initiative. And to finish here, showing the status of our Community of Practice, you have reached 1,400 members and want to keep growing. As Lloyd said, you have a huge challenge to have more people in our communities, and this is our status since the beginning of our journey. And I think that's it. I'd like to thank you for your time. I hope that you enjoy. If you have some doubt, any question, I will help you at the end of this conference. Thank you a lot.
Good morning, good afternoon. For us, it's good evening. I'm Maxim Grishin. I'm a leader chapter of AWP Community of Practice Russia. I'm also president of St. Petersburg chapter Project Management Institute and director Research and Development Center Intelcom, Intelligent Construction of St. Petersburg Polytechnic University, assistant of professor. I'd like to, previous, yes. Thank you very much. I'm glad to welcome you, and I want to express my deep gratitude to Lloyd, first of all, for this opportunity to speak before my colleagues. The basis for the success of our community development in Russia is the growing construction market in Russia. The plan the plan is to double the market size by 2024. And the industrial infrastructure project dominated this market, approximately 50%. This is one reason of my estimation of success of AWP methodology for implementation in Russia. And second point is, in Russia, we have similar methodology named model method, and sometimes we use it in our project. That's why when we met with Lloyd and we talked with Lloyd about organization of chapter in Russia, I'm very optimistic for development of AWP methodology in a Russian market. The next, okay. What we did, we are doing, what we did and we will do in the nearest time. This is short time, several months only. First of all, of course, we link with North America chapter. We link last month with my partners from South America and Europe chapter. And now under development, the board of directors and board of advisors, and we are creating also consultant expert community in our chapter, because we have good experts for the construction industry who support our activity and who support this methodology. The next, okay. For board of director, the platform of board of director, this is St. Petersburg State Polytechnic University, number 4 in Russia, and one of the oldest university, technical university in Russia. Of course, Lloyd with his colleague from North American chapter. And now the best candidates, we talk with Polus company. This is gold mining company number 8 in the world. And hydropower company. This is the biggest company in Russia. This is the main candidates for the board of directors. The next, please. Advisory boards. The advisory board of chapter. This is candidate with this honor community. We have discussion with Transneft. Neft is translation from Russia. This is oil. Gazprom Neft, Chelyabinsk Petroleum Company, and other Rosatom and maybe other big oil company in Russia. Then we agreed with engineering and construction company AWP. We have good cooperation with local floor company, Spectrum Group. This is one of the biggest engineering company in Russia, specialized for first of all airport construction. Volgograd Nefty project. This is interesting company. They have good experience for AWP for rail project for oil in Caspian Sea platform. Roshydro Construction, local general contractor of Roshydro. Academic community, of course, research center of St. Petersburg Polytechnic University, and I involve also St. Petersburg State Railway University. This is the oldest technical university in Russia, who work for railway company of Russia. And technology community, our partner, worldwide partners after this, Dassault Systems, Bentley Systems, local company, Russian company, Mobile System, AWP, and other representative consulting company, Unity, and some others. Because we have short time, we have many contacts now with my colleagues. That's why I'm, like I talked before, I'm very optimistic for establishing and developing the AWP community of practice in Russia. Next. What are the main deliverables up to the
as Steve's getting it to the right slide, just want to let you know, because we're dealing with people in Brazil and people in Russia, there is a time delay on the slides being moved. And for the North Americans, it's not that big an issue, but when it comes to Russia and Brazil, it's more of an issue. So Steve, can we get us on the next slide for Maxim, and then we'll, there you go. Thanks very much.
Yeah, it's main deliverables in and up to end of to 2020 and next year 2021. Of course, offline and online events. Like, unfortunately, offline events we cannot organize now, but we will organize online events first of all. And the 10th of November, we will organize the first big meetup together with our partner about future perspective or AWP methodology in Russia. I invite and Lloyd and our colleagues Eric Rivella, Jeff Ryan, and other colleagues, and I invite big quantity of good colleagues, experts, and stakeholders from Russia. Very important and one of the main, very important goal for us, translation documents and books to Russian language. I especially show you the Jeff Ryan books, even more scheduled for sale. This is my lovely book, and we signed with him contract, and we are translating now, and we plan to publish this book maybe end of this year. It's very important because, first of all, this is very good book for popularization. It's professional book, and for us very important because it's necessary to organize the structure of terms for AWP translated to Russian, because some terms we have not the same translation. It's very important to adapt terminology from American market, from documentation standards of CI to Russian market. But we are doing this job, and it's moving successful. Of course, we promotion AWP methodology in Facebook. Last week before our conference, organized my post, big post, many likes. I like it. And we will organize LinkedIn groups, especially for Russian community of AWP Community of Practice. We plan to develop of Russian standards AWP, and good news, we propose 3 standards for AWP, and we received the approval from technical committee of state technical committee, and this standard will plan to include in a state standard program. It's very important. I think it's very good things for promotion of AWP methodology in Russia. Of course, implementation AWP methodology in project. We work very closely with Eric Rivera for pilot project in Russia, and also we are working with other partners in Russia for other projects. And we plan to organize annual AWP conference 2022 in St. Petersburg. I hope we will do it together, and I invite you. And of course, a big block of AWP in academic sector. We prepare now the program of research and educational programs for university, and in interest of Ministry of Construction of Russia, we have sent the list of our research program, and I hope we will receive some approvals for this job. And it's very shortly, but we are doing many things in parallel. We're establishing chapter, we translation documents, we promotion, etc., etc., etc. Okay, the next. I'm finished. Thank you very much for your time. And next slide.
Thank you, Maximum. I'm Stuart Block. I'm the AWP manager from Fleur. I've been full-time in AWP for the last 4 years, as is known as AWP, but within engineering and construction projects for over 30 years. I first used AWP as we knew it back in the fab yards when I was an apprentice. We used to get apprentices to do that. But from an ECI point of view, we have many members across Europe, ranging from owners to EPC contractors to our universities and other associations. Our main chapter at the moment is get collaborative working. Within Europe, a lot of people are very silo driven. They've got great ideas within their own companies, but to translate that across multi-different national companies and disciplines is what we're trying to break down at the moment. That's our current goal. Within Europe, we have different terminologies for AWP. For example, DFA, design for assembly, design for manufacturing. Within offshore, we have work packs, CTRs. There's many different acronyms that all mean the same thing. So we're getting with our members at the moment to try and get a common terminology across the board. And then from that point of view, we want to get them all trained up, aligned with the same training, the same ideas. And with Lloyd's help, we're going to try and utilize with ECITB, the AWP University. So we get a common grounding all the way across. As I said, our main mindset is get the mindset change with companies. Back one.
Oh.
So that is the ECI's goal and where we're trying to get with. We're trying to bring on the community of practice early next year. And the reason why we're delaying that a bit in Europe is we want to get our full member support. There's no point 1 or 2 companies going on with this. We need to get everybody on the same page. Okay, Luigi, if you want to take over now, do your part.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Good evening in Russia, and here in Europe, here in Italy, it's late afternoon. Thanks for everybody for this opportunity. Yes, AWP in Europe. I'm Luigian Selmy, head of construction, methodologies and innovations. We are moving not only as a company, but as a community in AWP. And in Europe, ECI perceives AWP as one of the pillars to improve productivity. The other things that we strongly believe shall be brought forward are collaborative working and digitalization. Why? First of all, yes, there is safety, but now it's time to make a fundamental change. In our industry, productivity has reached very, very low levels, something that is no longer sustainable. Our construction industry shall be reshuffled in a way that productivity will be regained, in a way to be not only competitive, but to deliver the projects in a very fast way. I mean, the situation we are living today drives us to change, gives us opportunities to change. And we strongly believe that AWP is part of the change. Now, in Europe, we are starting this culture of AWP. Culturally speaking, Europe is different than other markets, but nevertheless, there is a room, there is a need to change. So, as I said before, AWP is a part of the change. AWP is a part of this change and shall be brought together with taking into consideration the different cultures. Now, ECI is the best European construction industry, strongly linked with CII and other international construction association, will be the home of the AWP in Europe. Why? Because as said by Stuart, ACI is made by owners, is made by construction contractors, is made by EPC contractors, is made by also by the supply chain. So ECI works similarly to CII. ECI promoted webinars and opportunity to move with the AWP. Yes, we started in Europe. Also, I would like to say thanks to ECI, to Lloyd, to CII. We moved, and it is a fact that we had AWP conferences, global conferences in London, when the conference would have made a year ago. So we had conference there. So that means that Europe feels the need to have AWP introduced. Now we are focusing on owners and Tier 1 contractors for wider AWP adoption. So we are moving now to the change management, to the change of attitude in adopting this methodology. Changing is probably the most difficult part of this journey, probably. But we understand that it is something that we have to go through, but it's something that will enforce the confidence once overcome, will enforce the confidence on getting AWP established in Europe. Believe us, we have major EPC contractors in Europe. We have a major construction contractor in Europe. Each of us is implementing AWP. We as a Tecnimont, like Fluor, we are implementing AWP around the globe. We need to build this methodology now in Europe, and now is the time. So as Lloyd said at the beginning, the very beginning of this breakout session, yes, Europe chapter will start building up in the first half of 2021, and there are talks between ECI and international organizations such as ACI and CII. So yes, everybody is welcome will be welcome, and is also already welcome to join us in ACI for the discussion. We will prepare new webinars, inviting people around the globe. Time difference can be a problem. Probably yes, probably not, but we are moved by passion, because we know that, and we are strongly sure that AWP is now the change that we have to undertake now. So here you go. This is our current situation in Europe is a very promising situation. More infrastructure projects are coming out. So as Lloyd said, AWP started in oil and gas. In Europe, we have chemical plants. We have big infrastructure projects coming out. So AWP will be needed. Thanks for your time, for listening, and me, Stuart, we are fully available to discuss.
Okay, well, thank you for that, Luigi and Stuart. So before we get into question and answer, and actually the first question we have in question and answer is it possible to start an Asian chapter? We've had some discussions about setting up a chapter in the Middle East. We've had some interest in Southeast Asia. We've had people reach out to us about possibly Australia and India. So we are definitely looking at continuing the expansion of the communities of practice. We believe that probably the Middle East and Southeast Asia are going to be the next ones that we focus on. But we're definitely looking for you and others to help guide us as to where those next activities should be. We've got some questions and answers in, and the first one we have is actually from Mick saying, can we create an Asian chapter? And I would say the answer to that is yes. We probably just need to have some discussions as to what's involved in that, and see how that goes. The next one is from Dario, and he said it was an excellent presentation. Is there a plan for the community of practice in South America to start doing presentations in Spanish, as right now they're primarily in Portuguese? Rodolfo, could you comment on that, please?
Yes, Lloyd. Of course, as we talked in our last board meeting, it's a plan. First of all, we start, because we are from Brazil, you start with the material and with the webinars that you already prepared in Portuguese. But the idea is I think the next two webinars, the one that you talked about, the reach with Beam, Lean, and Agile. This one will already be launched in Spanish. That's the idea, and you will try to make a change between Portuguese and Spanish, because we think it's very important to do a lot of bring a lot of information to Spanish language too, because it's the biggest part of our continent too. That's the idea.
Great. And Hiroki has asked, what's the key to adjusting AWP, a concept that started in North America, to Russian business practices and getting the AWP concept into the country? And Maxim, could you comment on that?
Yes. It's I talk before. First of all, we have traditional, the similar method, like I talk noodle methodology. This one point, and the other point, it's in Russia we need to grow our efficiency of construction project, like in all world, but in Russia I think we have very important this question, efficiency, and AWP methodology, in my opinion, is the best way for industrial project. It's the fastest and the fastest and the most effective methodology. It's methodology. It's not only tools. Of course, we need to educate people. We need to organize data, digital systems, but it's possible in Russia. We can do it.
Great.
That's why I'm very optimistic. I'm very optimistic for implementation AWP methodology in Russia.
Great. Well, thanks for that, Maxim. The next question is from Dario, and he's asking, how do we ensure collaboration between chapters, making progress globally, not double dipping on some initiatives, avoiding having different standards per region? And I think that's a great question. One of the things that we'll be instituting as soon as the Russian and European chapters are established is quarterly meetings between each of the chapter executives, so that we can find out who's working on what, and we can coordinate to ensure that we're working together and not creating division, but rather working together to increase the amount of coordination between the groups. Anyone want to add to that?
Yes, Lloyd, I agree with you. And don't forget, we need in each country, we have other languages in South America and Russia. Thank you very much for Jeff Ryan books. I recommend to our South American colleagues to use this, because he explained the many technical terms, and we cannot translate some terms. We cannot translate directly. That's why now I have this problem, not problem, but it is question. We translate not Google translation. You
Right.
Understand?
Yeah,
no,
I would like
to understand me. It's very important. That's
Yeah.
why we prepare, especially we prepare glossary. We discuss with expert community how to translate, right translation. It's very important job for other English non-English languages countries. I'd like to confirm these terms in standard, in Russian standard.
I would like to add something more, if possible, Lloyd. I would like to add something more.
Luigi.
Yes, what Maxim said is extremely important, but there is something in exercise that is being done, is the alignment of the data, standardization of the data. Terminology is important to understand, to have a common language, but the common language is transferred through standardized and normalized data. Now there is a research from CII. There is this study that is a basis. Once the communities are settled, then we have to start harmonizing, yes, the terminology for sure, but also normalizing the data, because sometime working especially with the Russian standards, for example, the same information is not exactly the information that we trade in Europe, or we may trade in the US or in Asia. So that is the other point that we as a community, we have to work out. Terminology, yes, but normalizing the data. Because only in this way we can have on board almost everybody working on AWP. That is the point.
Yeah, Luigi, I couldn't agree with you more. We've got this great AWP data recommendations. We need to work with our partners in Europe and Russia and South America to try and get global adoption. The other thing, I don't normally do this, but I want to give a shout out to Jeff Ryan, because his book has now been translated into Mandarin and Russian. We've been talking with CII about how important it is to have some of the core documents that CII produces available in other languages. So that conversation has just started, but want to make you aware that we do believe that having some of this really core documents like the AWP body of knowledge and possibly RT272 in other languages would be incredibly helpful. Final question we've got is from Stuart Block. He's saying that he's glad to hear that the COP vision is getting commonality, that terminology and the drive for AWP is being seen more globally. But he said one of the issues for him is offshore work packages have different definitions than in the WBS structure, and that he feels we should really be driving to get more consistency and standardization in terminology. Any comments from the panel as to your thoughts?
No, I agree. It's a total commonality across all different industries need to be addressed, certainly for AWP. Whether it's down to the detail level or it's just kept at the summary level, as long as we bring collaborative work amongst the designers to the engineers through procurement, fabrication, and obviously installation, I think that's going to be the key across.
That's great advice. And my question to the attendees is, if any of you have interest in being on the North American Advisory Board or one of the other chapters advisory boards, please send us an email. And secondly, if there's anyone out there that has some interest in establishing a new community of practice in a new region, please reach out to us. I know, Stuart, you're located in Kuala Lumpur, but we have people from all over the world wanting to get AWP into their industries, and we are happy to work with anybody who is, is interested and has passion for this. We're sitting at 10:59, and I'm a stickler for getting things done on time. So I want to thank all the attendees for coming. If you have any questions that you didn't ask us now, please send them to us and we will reach out to the panel. But thank you so much, and we'll see you at the next session.